All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Baltimore Orioles franchise. I'm not sure you can call this a rebuild, so we'll just call it a building, as the Orioles have a pretty good base so far on the team, a lot of young, good talent, and I've made a couple changes so far to just some numbers on the roster. Jordan Westberg, I've changed him to be number 26, as that's his number right now in AAA, I believe, and couldn't really find him using a number more than twice in his career. And then Heston Kjerstad, we're going to change him to 18. I've seen he's had that multiple times, at least twice, in different levels of the minors in college and high school. So that's pretty much our only changes. And with that, I think we're ready to start simming a little bit. We'll simulate to the end of that. I don't think Rutschman will get to that. And it looks like Joey Ortiz, our shortstop, is, oh man, he's out for a couple months. We'll put him on the 10-day DL, and we will get into some scouting. And before we do that, I will do some of our positional needs. I feel like relief pitcher is something that we're very much lacking in. We have some infielder depth, but first baseman, we'll let that be some scouting depth. And then pretty much all outfielder position. Oh, you can only select 3. So we will make that left fielder. I feel like we have a good base of young players, so we'll just change the relief pitcher to starting pitcher. So both pitcher positions, and then some outfield will mainly be our scouting interests that we're looking at. And I actually need to go in after this series to change our scouts around to get a little bit more efficiency out of these guys. So the first scout I've replaced, I think Blankenship was his name. Yeah, Vincent Blankenship, 71 efficiency. We've replaced him with Kenji Edney, 92 efficiency, 86 discovery. He was about the only highest rated scout. I'm okay with spending more money on these scouts because, that's one of the ways that your team is built. And then we will also replace Brian Santiago. Oh, I can't afford that. I didn't know that was the deal. Okay, so we will replace Edgar McCollum with Michael Santos. And then I need someone within 90,600. So 75 efficiency. I want to just get better than that. And then we have Horace Ladd here, who has a little bit worse discovery. But I feel like the efficiency is a little bit more important, and we do have pitchers as one of more of our needs, so I'm going to side with Jay Grant over Brian Santiago just to get that little bit of pitcher better rating. So that is going to be our scouts going forward. And can I change my scouting? Yes, I can. So that is a great deal. So we're going to discover new prospects, actually scout the position, relief pitcher. We'll go from the east. We will scout the... Actually, I want to make this guy more discovery because he has the higher discovery rating. So we'll discover in the central. We will scout the position, relief pitcher in the central, and we will scout the position, relief pitcher in the east. So we'll roll with that, and we can begin simming some more games. 1-run lead, we will simulate through that, and we win. And I have to fix the AAA lineups now. And in case I didn't show you guys these AAA lineups, we have Colton Cowser starting at center, Greg Cullen at second base. He was starting at third base, but with that injury to Joey Ortiz, he will now be moving back over to his regular position, second base. Franchi Cordero on left, Lewin Diaz first. Nomar Mazara will be DHing against righties. Cesar Prieto moves into the third base spot after being in the bench. Stowers in right, and Terran Vavra at short with Samuel Basalo catching. And that pretty much stays the same against lefties. Yes, no, Mazara is still the DH. AA. Connor Norby at second leads off. Kobe Mayo at third. Jackson Holiday short. Josh Lester at first. Ryan O'Hearn he doesn't add anything more than Josh Lester does. So we have him at first. Hudson Haskins at center field. Toby Welk at left. Dylan Beavers DHing against lefties. Reed Trimble right field, Maverick Hanley. I'm not as worried about these guys, but we do have Ryan O'Hearn DHing against righties to at least get his bat into the lineup. And we had Ramon Urias come back, which is a good sign for us. I'm thinking about turning these game situations off just so we don't have to keep worrying about seeing this. Yeah, turn those critical situations off, and then we'll just go through and kind of play games that we want to see. Looks like Kevin Smith had an injury. Keep him active. Stowers sustained an injury. 1 to 2 weeks. We'll keep him active for now. And we are back to doing our scouting here for the second week. So we discovered 3 pitching prospects. We scouted 27, and 31 prospects were scouted in the East. So looks like they got a lot of their work done. So looking at some of these relievers that we scouted, some of their draft ranking isn't very high. I'm wondering if maybe we need to change our demand. Looks like our draft ranking, a lot of them are starting pitchers, closing pitchers as well. First baseman Albert Wolf is the first ranked prospect, and another first baseman Jorge Freitas is the second ranked position player. Randall Bonner at second. A lot of players ranked a little bit lower. And we have center fielder Richie Marin is third, and Paul Machado is fourth. But I think we want to still scout a position. I'm okay. Let's go discover some starting pitchers. I think last time we did the Central. Let's go international this time. Then I want to scout starting pitchers. Actually, we'll go relief pitchers again in the East, and then we will go more position scouting relief pitchers this time for the West. So we'll stick with that. And I'm thinking we get into maybe a player lock game here against the A's. And we have a trade offer from the Dodgers. Yency Almonte for a center fielder, Kyle Stowers, that we don't really have him in our plans for the future. But I don't think that this would be a very good trade, as Yency Almonte is pitching lights out so far this season. 6.2 innings, 1.35 ERA, 1.35. I would love to make this trade, but I just don't think that it is a realistic style trade, and I want to, keep this somewhat realistic. And we are here for our home opener of the channel, technically, as I am player locking the savior of last game, Santander. So it looks like we went 0 for 3, so Santander will come to the plate, going against Shantaro Fujinami. 0-0 count. Cutter is in there for the first strike. The A's are 4-6 on the season. I'm not exactly sure of our record. I forgot to check before we got into the game, as I had no business swinging at that high fastball. He's pitched me 2 fastballs, 2 cutters, and a splitter. And I can probably go in and change Fujinami's ratings. I think he's actually in the game. I downloaded this roster from the creation vaults. That's what it is. So I just downloaded that. He was in this game, but if you guys want me to go and fix his statistics, let me know. That's something that I can probably definitely do. I don't have a problem doing that. Make it a little bit more realistic for this series, since I think in real life he has like 5 pitches. A little bit more than just the fatter fastball, splitter, cutter, as that is hammered to right field and foul. And that is hammered up the middle. The shortstop is there to field it behind second. And Santander grounds out for the first out of the 5th inning. I'm going to send past this fielding opportunity and get back to the hitting as we are up 6-0 in the bottom of the 7th. Anthony Santander has not had to do anything. He's 0 for 2 on the game. Fujinami's 70th pitch is a ball high and inside. Oh, and I was just behind the fastball right down the middle. And that is hit into center for a single, and Santander is on base. 1 for 3 on the day. And I sent through another fielding opportunity, and we are here in the bottom of the 9th. Still up, I'm sorry, we are down. Have I been looking at Oakland and saying that we were Oakland this whole time? Wow, so Baltimore is down 6-1, and Santander flies out to right field. Man, I feel like an idiot now. But we lose that game here at home. Hopefully we have a better situation later in the series. What did our team do? Wow. Only 5 hits on the day. Rutschman went 2 for 3. Profar 1 for 3. Santander and Mountcastle both 1 for 4. So not a good day hitting for us. Rutschman got a home run. Pitching wise, Wells had a very bad outing. 1.2 innings pitched and 4 earned runs given up. Good time from Bradish. Gibson was serviceable, and Bautista 1 inning, no run ball, and a strikeout. So that was certainly an experience, thinking that I was Oakland, but this has been a long day. Okay, I'm recording this at 11 p.m. right now. But time to get in some more scouting. We got 3 more pitching prospects discovered, 31 relief pitching prospects scouted, and 7 relief pitching prospects scouted. So I think I want to edit this once again. And looking at some of these prospects, see, we don't have a lot of our international prospects scouted. So I'm thinking that we are probably going to look at that going forward, at least from a relief pitcher standpoint. We have a few East Coast and Central guys scouted a little bit more. Illinois and South Carolina are the main 2. I think that closing pitcher could be something also that we look into. So I want to edit these relief pitchers. Let's look at the international. Let's look at closing pitchers in the East, and then we'll scout prospects. Look at second base. There was one player that I saw. I think we can actually just scout him because it said second base was one of our highest needs, and we have Randall Bonner here, who is draft rank 6 and our draft rank 6. High contact, decent power as of right now. He's got good fielding, good vision, it looks like, good discipline. So we will add him, and I think that we will roll with that for this week. And I do want to, here on this off day, we don't have a minor league game scheduled, but I do want to get into a minor league game. But here, after 16 games, we are 7-9. Bowie Bay Sox are 6-3, and Norfolk is 7-8. So I think we will go with Norfolk. Player lock game. So here we are to get started in the bottom of the 2nd. Terran Vavra steps in, 726 OPS with a runner on second and 1 out. Tide's already down by 1 and takes a ball for the first pitch. And he works this to a 3-0 count. And we'll see if he gets something to hit here. So 3-1. And swings at the slider down in the bottom of the zone. So a full count now. And that is hit onto third base, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. And now Vavra steps in again in the 4th with the Tides down 5-1. That time he hits it pretty well, but right to the second baseman. And that is the second out of the fourth. We get a little bit of a fielding opportunity here. Vavra playing shortstop, even though he is a second baseman. Stay with it, Vavra. And looks like that might be an error on him. Yep, E6. So I wonder why he's playing shortstop. Who is at second? Cullen is at second. Maybe he can get a bit of redemption as he steps in here with runners at the corner in the bottom of the sixth, down by 6 to the Rochester Red Wings. And strikes out on the sinker away. He gave me 2 straight sliders down low inside on the zone, and I swung at both of them, fouled them both off, and thought that one may have been a sinker as well. But we're now here in the bottom of the 8th, down by 6 still, and a lefty pitcher on the mound, Matt Cronin. 1-1 count, 2 outs, trying to get a rally started, and swinging wildly at the curveball. And got me swinging the changeup low. I think that is pretty much going to wrap it up for this game. I don't think we're going to get another at bat, and we do not. So now we have a 2-game series against Washington. Looks like the Yankees are interested in offering us a trade. Jonathan, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that name. But I do have Jorge Mateo on the trade block, but I don't think we want to make this trade right now. Holy crap, he has a 13.5 ERA. No, thank you. But win our first game and win the second against Washington. And that takes us to a series of Detroit. And I want to get into a double-A player lock here. And looking at this lineup on the left side, maybe you can figure out who we went with for our player lock. I'll let you know he's not hitting very well, but he's above the Mendoza line. And it is the young phenom, 19-year-old Jackson Holliday, who steps in here, hitting .239 on the season. 2 outs. The first 2 batters, I believe, struck out.
Nope, that's it.
And he is out to a 2-0 count. And the 3-0 count is hit into left field, and that will be a single for Jackson Holliday. And we get a fielding opportunity with him. We'll look to see how that arm is in the fielding. Hopefully it's better than Vavra's was. Clean fielding. Clean throw, and got his man at first. 6th, 3 out. And Holliday steps in once again, 1 for 1 on the season, looking to make it 2 for 2, or on the game. Slurvis hit hard, but foul. And he struck out on 3 pitches. That was all me. That was all my fault. And we jump into the 7th, where Holliday is leading off, down 3-0 to Altoona. Second pitch is hammered deep to center field. Center fielder pops under it, and that is an out, but a solid hit from the youngster. And now for what looks like to be Holliday's last at-bat of the game. Top of the 9th, 2 out, a runner on first, down by 4. If he gets a base hit, he could extend this ball game. If he gets out, it is all over. Looking for just a bit of a spark here. I think Tanaj Thomas has been pitching for them all day. He's only at pitch 88. Two count here now for Jackson Holliday. The pitch is outside, and that takes it to a full count with John Lester right behind him. And he draws the walk to extend this ball game. And the Curve have defeated us 4-0. It looks like Lester grounded out to end the ball game. Just unfortunate. We have not been able to win anything this episode. But the season will continue. We keep simming through dates. Toby Welk will be out for a day or two. We will keep him active and go into our scouting once again. 43 prospects scouted, 5 closing pitcher prospects. And now we have Randall Bonner. He's 6th on the MLB board, but 27th on our draft rank, but he still looks like a very solid player. He's someone that I could see us drafting if he drops to us. I don't really see him getting that far. See kind of where we're at right now. Starting pitcher, I think, still does not have much scouting going on, actually. Let's see. We're in like the 10 to 20 range for our picks. Michigan Central, Virginia is probably East, Kansas Central, Illinois, Jamaica, Dominican Republic. So I think for starting pitchers, we want to look kind of more in the Central. And then for relief pitchers, we have a few players that we have some scouting things on, but nobody that we really want to take with our first pick, unfortunately. Closing pitcher could be a position that we go for first. We have New Jersey and Kentucky. I guess Kentucky is technically in the Central now, but I do want to get a little bit more of a look at some of these other guys. So we'll still go relief pitcher, looking in the Central, and then we'll scout starting pitchers internationally. And then also I do want to scout one prospect, and I think that is going to be Floyd Jenkins. I'm looking at mainly his future ratings. Decent walk per 9, good control, so he's going to be at least a control pitcher, it looks like. He's a little bit lower on our draft ranking than the MLB draft ranking, but it looks like that's kind of how all of these are. I think the only one from ours that is ahead of his draft ranking is Wayland Cedeno out of Venezuela. Wow, he looks to be pretty good as well. Only 18 years old. So maybe he's someone that we look into. And Victor Macias. You guys let me know. Give me some tips on how some of this scouting works. Otherwise, I'm just kind of going to go and wing it. I'm not going to get fully to the draft yet, but I'll tell you what, I'll actually go ahead and scout Wayland Cedeno since he is a 57 draft rank compared to 63 MLB. So we'll see what he looks like, and I'll stick with that. And we can keep on simulating. Toby Welk is no longer injured. Good. Do we want to play Boston at home? Grayson Rodriguez? Maybe we get a game with Grayson Rodriguez in going against Chris Sale. I think that's the move right here. So we'll jump into this player lock situation with Rodriguez. Going against a fairly hot Red Sox team. Verdugo, Arroyo, Justin Turner, Yoshida, Reese McGuire, all hitting over 300 to begin the season. A very hot Boston Red Sox team. And here is the youngster Grayson Rodriguez stepping up so far this season. 4 starts, 0-2 record, a 10.59 ERA in 17 innings. So hopefully we can bring that down today, and a 2.29 whip. Not pitching very well at all to start this season off, and he gets started here against Alex Verdugo. His fastball sitting at 97. And that time it hits 99. I'm having the same problem I had last time. Some of these low pitches just aren't catching the zone. And that is up in the air behind second. Frazier is under it and has the first out of the day. As we see Boston's starting lineup: Verdugo, Arroyo, Devers, Duvall, Turner, Yoshida, McGuire, Dahlbeck, and Chain. Pretty much what we saw in the last game we played against them on opening day. Maybe looking for a bit of revenge, as that is hammered up the middle for a base hit by Christian Arroyo. And that is hammered again by Devers. A hanging changeup. And we now have 2 on for Rodriguez. And Duvall almost crushed that over the monster, so we don't want that.
1-1.
And got him swinging on the slider. Grayson Rodriguez's first K of the game.
That's a ball. No
That's a ball? Are you kidding me, Blue? That couldn't be more a strike. 3-1 to Justin Turner.
Take your bait.
And walks him. And that will load the bases here in the first with 2 away. And Yoshida steps in. Strike 1 to him. And that is popped up to third base. Ramon Urias lays out but can't make the catch. And the slider is in there for strike 3, the backwards K. Grayson Rodriguez coming through in the clutch to leave runners stranded in the first inning. And can we get some run support? Looks like we got runs and got 3 runs there in the first. You'll love to see that, as we didn't score any runs until I think the first 4 innings or so in our last matchup against Boston. As McGuire hits that in the right field. Bobby Dahlbeck fouls off a slider. I got to stop throwing the sliders to him. I'm just going on autopilot right now. And got him swinging on the slider. That's what we like to see out of Grayson Rodriguez. And curveball in the dirt. Luckily they have Adley Rutschman back there to stop those pitches. And that is caught on the line out for 1 out. Can't get the second at first. But 2 down with the leadoff Verdugo stepping in. I am so scared of Verdugo right now. As he fouls off that second strike, and out is now a full count. And the curveball can't get the call from the ump. He's not doing me any favors at all today. It'd be nice to at least get 1 call. And this pitching mechanic is somewhat difficult because you kind of tell it go in that vicinity, but it doesn't always go there. And the runners advance on the wild pitch. And he got him at first, but I missed the call. But we'll move on here to the 3rd inning, where we are now up 5-0. Grayson Rodriguez still pitching fairly well, or at least getting out of jams when he needs to. Pitch 48 is a ball to Devers. And I still want to have Rodriguez at the major league level, but I mean, he's not pitching very well with those 4 starts. He's has, like you said, like you saw, the 10+ ERA. Hopefully this game can kind of bring that down. And got him looking on the changeup. That is 4th strikeout today for Rodriguez. I'm fairly happy with that. And the cutter has him swinging and missing. And these fastballs sitting at, 97 to 99 are hell for these batters. And Grayson Rodriguez is finding his groove now. Mixing it up with the fastball and the slider, but that one is a little bit too much off the plate. Try and get him out with the fastball, and he swings and fouls it off. And he definitely knew that one was coming. He was on it. So let's give him a little bit of a different look with the cutter, high and outside. And he's a little bit late. And that is hammered to left field and over the head of Austin Hayes. He gets it in, but that is a double for Justin Turner. Looks like Rodriguez just hung that curveball up kind of in the middle of the zone. Luckily, that one wasn't over the fence. And that's another hit down the line and foul. Hard hit to first base and an unassisted 3 for the third out to take us to the middle of the third. So 5-0 in the top of the fourth. Ground ball too short. The throw in time, and the first out of the inning is recorded. And in steps my nemesis, Bobby Dalbec. First person to hit a home run off of me. And he flies this out to right center. Mullins has a routine out. Second out of the inning. And in steps Yu Chang. And Yu Chang has moved this to 3-0. As Grayson Rodriguez gets that strike on the inside half. Another strike, and that runs it full. And gives up the walk to the number 9 batter for Verdugo coming in. And he is, well, it looks like way in front of that fastball. That is to first again. They called that one foul? I don't know about that one. And got him looking on the cutter that just right down the upper middle. Great job so far by Grayson Rodriguez with these Boston Red Sox only having 4 hits on the day. See if he can push it into the 5th. That is flied out to Santander and right on the run, and he can't quite get to it in time. That falls down for a base hit. And in steps Rafael Devers. Hard hit to first. Mountcastle has it to second, and that is the 3-6-3 double play. You love to see that. Great pick by Mountcastle there at first. I want to watch that one again. Great throw. And Gunnar Henderson coming up to finish the play. Off a hard hit ball by Rafael Devers, and it is now 2 outs with nobody on. Duvall stepping in. That is hit deep into right field by Duvall. Bounces off the wall. Santander fields it. And Duvall is in with a stand-up double. And now Grayson Rodriguez faces Justin Turner once again. And finally get a strike call that I like. And got him swinging on the cutter outside to end the top of the 5th with a strikeout. And Rodriguez comes out to start the 6th. Great outing from him so far. Come on, Blue. You just gave me that call last inning. And now it's a ball? That was pitch number 97. And here is 98. That is fouled off. And he walks Yoshida. Foul ball for Reese McGuire. And that is hammered into right. Santander in pursuit. And that is over his head. Ball comes in, and that is cut off, but a stand-up double for Reese McGuire. And now it's runners at second and third. And pass ball by Adley Rutschman, but Yoshida will not run. And strike three to Bobby Dalbec on the circle change. If Rodriguez can get out of this with no runs allowed, I'm surprised he's actually still pitching. He's at pitch 108 now. That is hit and falls into left. And that will plate 2 runs and a single for Yu Chang. And now we get a pitching change finally. I'm surprised they let him go that long, but a great outing by Grayson Rodriguez. Something you love to see from the young pitcher. Got a little away from him there at the end of it. But Kyle Bradish comes in now. And he has been one of our better pitchers so far on this young season, as he strikes out Verdugo for the second out. Looking to hold Boston to only 2 runs scored. And gets him swinging on the slider outside. Great job by Bradish. And I think that will end our day here. And we end up winning 7-2 from a great outing by Grayson Rodriguez, that man right there. And our box score looks like this. We had Santander actually go 0 for 3, but everyone else hit fairly well. That's something you'd like to see. We got a home run out of Austin Hayes. RBIs from Santander, Hayes, and McCann. And Rodriguez went 5.1 with 2 earned runs, 8 hits, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks to drop his ERA down to 8.87 on the season from his 10 plus. And Aiken actually got the save for us today in 2.2 innings. And that win actually gives us 14 wins on the season, sitting at 14-10. As the Mets are interested, I don't think we are going to make this trade at all. Nope. But sitting at 14-10, we will advance through the week a little bit more and do some more scouting. Like I said, if any of you guys have some tips on this scouting, let me know. I'd be happy to hear it. And here's a pitcher I think I'd like to get a little bit more info on. Right now, he is 26th in the MLB draft rank, but 15th on our board. 18-year-old out of the Dominican Republic, throws right. His statistics look all pretty good. I'm just worried about his walks per 9. But I think we will look into more of the international pitching prospects. It looks like that might be a little bit more of the rank we are sitting at. And I'm intrigued by this guy as well, Buddy Fitzgerald. He's actually our first non-pitcher that is recommended for us to look at. And looking at his future abilities, looks like he's going to be absolutely insane. But we'll check him out. And then I want to scout a position. We'll just look at this the closing pitchers in the Central, because there's 2 guys in Kansas that are pretty solid closing pitchers. And I think with that, we will just get into one final game. And this is going to be our full game. But, you guys let me know what you want to see. But we are going to be going, since we've already seen Kyle Gibson pitch, I think we will go with Dean Kramer going against Brady Singer in Kansas City. We are 17-12. Kansas City is 12-18. So I think it will be a pretty solid matchup. And I think this game, I'm not going to take you through as much as I gave you last time, but just kind of a little bit more of the highlights. I want this series to be, a little bit, I want it to be a little bit more shorter than our last episode went, like almost an hour or over an hour. So this will be our starting lineup. Pretty much all the same. Yerkson Profar moves in a DH. We have Ramon Urias back in the lineup at third base. And we might, if we have a very good game, we might actually see some of our other guys get in for some at-bats and things like that. But we are here at beautiful Kauffman Stadium, ready to get this game underway. Salvador Perez hitting the shin guards. And we have Cedric Mullins stepping in to lead off against Brady Singer. 6 starts on the season, 3.11 ERA with a 1.01 whip. Very solid out of him. And we'll see if we can get the better of him or force him out of this game earlier than expected. What do you say about that? Oh, 1 count is hammered into left center. And Mullins is rounded first, going to second, and he will be in with a stand-up double. A runner in scoring position for Ryan Mountcastle, hitting .250 on the season. That barely caught the zone, and the pitcher gives it to him for the first strikeout of the game to Ryan Mountcastle. So it's up to Anthony Santander to try and clean up the pieces with a runner out on second. 1-2 count here for Anthony Santander. And swings through the changeup, strikes out to end the first. And that means it's time for Dean Kramer. 5 starts, 2-1 on the season with a 3.13 ERA and 1.04 whip. Very solid. Very solid indeed. And we'll look for him to continue some of that here in this game. As that is hit to Frazier, who has it. No problem for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 out. You love to see that. 2 pitches, 2 outs. That's even better. And it won't be 3 pitches, 3 outs, as that is looked at for strike number 1 to Vinny Pasquantino. And that is flied out to Hayes for the 3rd out of the inning. Uneventful first inning. And that takes us into the 2nd with Ramon Urias leading off the inning. And that is hit into right field and is down for a base hit. Looking to snap out of this cold streak is Urias. And he'll look to do that with that first base hit. But here's the DH, Jurickson Profar. And that's grounded to first. Play at second. Play at first. And the double play gets him to end the top half of the 2nd inning. And here is Salvador Perez with a 1-0 count here in the bottom of the 2nd. Dean Kramer had a 5-pitch first inning. Looks like that's not going to be the same case here in the 2nd. And that is hammered to center on the curveball. Mullins in pursuit. Salvador rounding first. Gets to second and is in with a double. First hit of the game allowed for Dean Kramer. Remind me not to throw that curveball again. Popped up to right field. Santander floats under it and gets it in for the first out of the 2nd. And 2-2 count is hit to left field. Hayes under it, and he has the 2nd out of the inning. And it's looking like he might walk him. But that is in there for strike 1, and it won't be just yet. Santander has it. Rounding third is Salvador Perez, and he is out before he touches the plate to save the run. Great job by Santander, and an even better job by Adley Rutschman getting the tag on Salvador Perez. He had to run back and hurry back to home plate to make the tag. To start the 3rd, it is Adam Frazier stepping in against Brady Singer. And it is now 0-2 off of 2 circle changeups. And that is hit to center. but the center fielder is under it, and that is the first out of the inning. And here's Gunnar Henderson with 287 average on the season. That is hit into left center. Looks like that's going to be a base hit and maybe extras. Henderson has some speed. He's rounding second, trying to stretch it to a double or triple, and he is in there without a tag. Great job by Gunnar Henderson. His first triple of the season. And that brings in Cedric Mullins, leadoff batter, with one out, looking to drive in the run. It is 0-2 to Cedric Mullins now. And if you guys are liking how this series is set up or want to see a little bit different, maybe you don't want to see these longer games or just want me to sim through everything and see some of what our prospects have to offer down in the minors, let me know, or I will try to accommodate what you guys want to see as much as I can. As it is 1-2, grounded to first base, and Mullins is out. But the run scores, and Baltimore takes a 1-0 lead. But yeah, just let me know what you guys want to see. If y'all want to see actually more games than just the 2 position player lock games I did, the position lock pitcher, and this full game. If y'all want to see more, or if y'all want to see less and just kind of get through the season, let me know that too. But I enjoy playing this game, so I do want to be able to hit with some of these guys. If y'all want me to just kind of sim through, maybe if we make to the playoffs, then we can play every game. That could also be something that we do, as I am talking while I swing, which is never a good idea. But that takes us into the third inning. Been fairly uneventful. Baltimore is up 1-0 to Kansas City, as Dean Kramer starts out with a strike. And he strikes out Hunter Dozier for his first strikeout of the game, actually. I very much would like your feedback. Make sure what I'm doing here is right. You know, what I'm doing is what you want to see. That is popped up to third base, and Urias has a routine infield flyout. Now for the leadoff, Bobby Witt, to hopefully be the third out of the inning. And he will be, as he grounds out to Urias. And that is the end of the third. So in steps Ryan Mountcastle, someone that I haven't been very good at hitting with, but he's hitting .248 on the season. And that is hammered to left field. Left fielder in pursuit. And he catches it at the warning track. I really thought that one could have went. But here's someone who definitely has some big-time pop in Anthony Santander, as he gets a lucky call there from the blue. And a 3-1 count now to Santander. Nobody on. One out in the inning. And swings through to make it a full count. I don't like taking the walks for some reason. I should just take them whenever I get them. That is grounded up the middle, fielded by the shortstop, and that is a 6-3 out. And in steps Urias, as he flies out to left field, and that is the end of the fourth. So I'm hoping that he can kind of duplicate some of that this season. If not, Jordan Westberg might have to take over, as he is not playing in this game. Urias at third, and he has the first out. Nicky Lopez broke his bat, and Vinny Pascatino steps in now. Short ball over to second base, and Frazier makes quick work of it. Second out. And in steps Salvador Perez. And he flies out to right field, and that is going to stay foul. Santander can't make a play. 2-2 count here to Salvador Perez. And he checks his swing. Are we sure about that, guys? Are we sure he checked his swing? But 3-2, 2 outs. Salvador Perez swings and misses into the fourth. I believe that is Kramer's maybe second strikeout of the game. And it's a barn burner here, folks. 1-0 at the end of the fourth. Adley Rutschman starts off the fifth. and starts off with a hit up the middle and is out. And Profar actually has the #1 average on the Orioles, surprisingly enough, as that is grounded out to third base. So in comes Adam Frazier. And that is hit in the gap between first and second, and Frazier is on with a base hit. Thought this may have been an inning worth skipping, but now we have some excitement with Gunnar Henderson up 1-for-1 already with a triple on the game. And that is up the middle once again for a base hit. And 2 on now for Cedric Mullins. Mullins already has a double and an RBI on this game, looking to make it 2 RBIs at least. Maybe 3 with the speed of Henderson, and that won't happen as it is flipped to the pitcher covering first. And then steps Edward Olivares, looking to get something going for this Royals offense. Santander in pursuit of right field and has it for the first out. Second baseman Michael Massey steps in, and Kramer has been dealing fairly well this game. Only a couple hits maybe for the Royals and no runs scored for them through 5. And the 1-2 pitch, and it pops out to second base. Frazier is there up under it, and that's the second out. And here is Drew Waters. And he swings at the third pitch high in the zone, and Frazier is under it once again for the last out of the 5th. We make our way into the 6th with Austin Hayes leading off. 0-for-2 so far today. Looking to get his first hit of the day. And it won't come like that. 0-2 count to the left fielder. And on the ground to second. Looks to be a routine ground out, and it is. Mountcastle comes in with 1 out on the inning. 2-2 count to Ryan Mountcastle with 1 out. And that is gone. A no-doubter from Ryan Mountcastle into left field. Bye-bye ball. His 5th of the season, 414 on the distance, a 100.3 mile per hour exit velocity. And that was, we knew that one was gone right off the bat. And that just ups the Orioles win percentage to 80% if they can hold off this Kansas City offense. But their pitching game has been on point today. Santander with an 0-2 count. Singer off his back. And looks like Santerre will get tagged out at first. I think I called him Santander. Looks like they're going to check on Brady Singer. And he's going to stay in the game for Ramon Urias. And that is on the ground to second base. And Urias grounds out to Massey to end the inning. But Ryan Mountcastle coming through with a solo home run. And Dean Kramer will stay in for the 6th. Only pitched 61 pitches so far. Hunter Dozier is on with a single to right field with nobody out, and Kyle Esbell is in. Santander in pursuit, and he can't get there to make the catch. But he stops it, and that is in for another single to Isbell. And we do have someone warming up in the bullpen. It is Brian Baker, who actually doesn't have any innings yet so far this season, so we'll look to see what he has. And that is hit hard into right field, and Kramer may have his day over with. Santander picks it up and throws it. And Bobby Witt Jr. has a 2 RBI double, and this game is tied here in the bottom of the 6th. Let's not go into extra innings, please. Kramer, are you okay? Do we need to pull you out? You good? Okay, he's nodding to me that he's good, but one more base hitter, and this is going to be it for him today. Popped up to the plate. Adley Rutschman is there, and he has the out. I pressed the wrong button and didn't realize he was stealing. But Bobby Witt has a stolen base, steals third. Pasquantino checks his swing, but it is a called strike 2. And Kramer has him with the 95-mile-an-hour heat down the middle. Only his third strikeout of the game. And Perez swings at the cutter out of the zone. And got him swinging on the fastball low and away to end the 6th, stranding Bobby Witt at third. And in comes Brian Baker for the 7th inning. Last year, 66 games, had a 3.49 ERA and 1.23 whip. This year, he has no stats. He hasn't gotten a single game yet. But this will be his first outing of the season, and we'll see if he can come in clutch and shut down this 7th inning in a tie 2-2 ball game. Now, Olivares is staying alive. He's fouled off a couple in a row. And that time he hits it, and it goes foul. And hammers it deep. Baker just let a changeup hang in the zone, and Kansas City has taken this lead 3-2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Olivares' 5th home run of the season. Hit that one over 420 feet, blaze it. And Baker's going to need to rebound now against Massey. And hit down the left field line. Hayes in pursuit. He picks it up, gets it to the cutoff. But Massey is in with a stand-up double. And Baker is not having a good game so far. Gave up a home run and a double. And in steps Drew Waters. And he hammers that one to center field, and that one is gone. A 2-run home run for Drew Waters, his 6th of the season. And this has gotten out of hand here in the 7th. Holy cow. And it's going to be hard to pitch when you have low confidence, when you can't even get those calls. And that is another home run given up this time to Hunter Dozier. That is 2 in a row, back-to-back jacks. And now it is time to make a change and go to the bullpen. And here comes Tyler Wells, making his 10th appearance of the season. 4.35 ERA, and we'll see if he can get this 6th or this 7th inning under control. Terrible outing by Brian Baker, and he may actually get demoted for this one outing. That is bunted. Urias with the play. And he calls him safe. I could have swore he was out. I always wait to see these replays. And he was out by a mile. So we challenged the play. He is out. And Tyler Wells has come in and at least done something that Brian Baker could not do. And Tyler Wells strikes out Bobby Witt Jr. for the 2nd out of the inning. And in steps Nicky Lopez. That's popped up in foul territory at third. And Urias is there to end this bleeding in the 7th. Given up by Brian Baker and his 4 runs given up. Ooh, 3 home runs. That may have been my worst outing ever as a pitcher. But put that behind us. In the top of the 8th, Amir Garrett comes out. And Henderson has worked this to a 2-2 count against Amir Garrett. And got me looking at the fastball low. I was wanting something a little bit higher in the zone. But it leads us back to the leadoff, Cedric Mullins. That is in on the hands and out to center field, and a can of corn for the center fielder, Drew Waters. And in steps Austin Hayes with 2 outs, looking to have a little bit of a rally here in the 8th. And in situations like this, you just think, I got to be patient. Wait on my pitch, and I'm late on it. And that will be the third out of the 8th inning and sending us into the bottom of the 8th. But into the 8th, Tyler Wells still in at pitcher. Vinny Pasquantino into bat. And I have a feeling that Tyler Wells may very well get the rest of this game unless we get into a situations where we can win. And that is rolled down the line. Wells throws to Mountcastle, and the first out is recorded. And Perez cranks one over left center. Man, I can't do anything with the way that they are hitting these home runs right now. It's just impossible. I set that one up lower in the zone, but it just didn't matter. But they're just on these fastballs right now as Mullins can't track that one down, doesn't quite have the speed. And he makes a turn and goes for third, and the wild throw is gotten by Henderson, who finally gets it in, and Olivares has a triple, trying to salvage something and not lose by so much. But honestly, I was hoping that this season wasn't going to be too easy. We started off pretty hot, 17-10. I mean, you wouldn't call that necessarily hot, but we have been playing fairly well. And then we come in here and at my second full game get humbled against Kansas City. I feel like that's a pretty good course of events. We also did lose, I think, all of our player lock games, or at least except for the pitching one. But that is the end of the 8th. Salvador Perez with a home run just extended the Royals' lead. And we're here in the 9th inning going against Taylor Clark, trying to mount the comeback as Ryan Mountcastle steps in and looks at the changeup low for ball 1. And that is hit hard, but on the ground to shortstop. Trouble fielding it, and Mountcastle is safe at first. And Santander is now stepping in. Now has a 1-2 count. And the pitch is swung on and missed for strikeout number 1 of the inning. That brings up Ramon Urias, 1 for 3 on the day. And the count is 1-2 to Urias. And swings at the slider out of the zone for second out. And it is all down to Adley Rutschman here. Looking to start this 2-out rally. Can he do it? And that is hit hard by Rutschman to right field. And that is off the wall. And Mountcastle will score. Rutschman is into second with a stand-up double. And Baltimore has a little bit of life as they cut this lead down to 4 at the top of the 9th. Profar in, 0 for 3, looking for his first hit of the game, and it would be a very big hit. Late on 2 straight fastballs, and it is an 0-2 count. And that gets by Perez, and Rutschman takes third. And it's still 1-2 count to Jurix and Profar. And swing and a miss. And that is the game. Kansas City comes from behind and has a huge 7th inning rout of the Orioles to finish this game 7-3. And Baltimore's putting in Brad Baker just was not the move. As he pretty much single-handedly lost the game for us, allowing 4 runs, I believe, in the 7th inning. Not a great day hitting for us. We had only one person with multiple hits, and that was Gunnar Henderson. No hits from Profar, Santander, or Hayes. But Mountcastle did get a home run. Kramer pitched a solid game. Maybe we should not have put him in, but Baker didn't even record an out, so his ERA is absolutely through the roof. I'm thinking maybe we'll see how some of our AAA pitchers are doing before we get out of this episode and see what we can do about his situation. And going into the rosters, April was a tough month for Chris Valamont, 4.7 ERA. DL Hall struggled as well. Hudson Haskins, center fielder, struggled. Caden Grenier had a great month at shortstop in AAA. Drew Rom had a good month at AA. Joey Krabel posted a 0 ERA in April over 10 innings. So maybe he's someone that we replace Baker with. I called him Brad Baker, but it's Brian Baker. That is wholly my fault. Hernandez still isn't having that great of a month. So I'm thinking that we will send down Brian Baker to AAA. And we are going to bring up Joey Krabel. He had a good month. So I am happy about bringing him up. And that's not going to change our pitching rotation at all. We still have Krabel basically replacing what's his name? Brian Baker, who will now come down here to AAA and be one of our better relievers, hopefully. But Darwinzon Hernandez, I'm still hoping that he kind of makes a bit of a change. But so looking at our stats here after 30 games, I'll just go through the rotations. Kyle Gibson is having a pretty good month, as is Means. Irvin, Grayson Rodriguez has brought that down. So maybe we'll switch Grayson Rodriguez and Dean Kramer. So next time through the order, Grayson Rodriguez will actually be our 5th starter. So he's not struggling as much. And then in the bullpen, we have Bradish, who's pitching pretty solid for a long reliever, as is Tyler Wells. Krabel, hopefully we'll get into see what he brings to the table next episode. Keegan Aiken as a lefty, I'm surprised at how well he is actually pitching. In 9 innings, he's going up with his ratings, and he has a 1.86 ERA so far. So hoping he can continue doing that. He's only 28. Maybe he gets that C potential up a little bit. But Michael Givens is struggling very hard with a 10.8 ERA and 2.4 WHIP. Dylan Tate is right there behind him with a 9.5. So we're going to move. I don't know if any of this order has anything to do with how they pitch. Ken Giles is having a strong month, as is Felix Bautista at the closer role. And he has 15 saves and 2 blown saves. He's actually matched exactly what he did last year with his save count in almost a third of the actual games and innings. So you love to see that. At AAA, DL Hall said he struggled. 1.82 whip is not good at all. Spencer Watkins is excelling, as is Bowman. And it's kind of just, whatever for the rest of these guys. In the bullpen, we have some guys who are playing well, some guys that are playing poorly. Eduardo Bizardo is one of them, but he is a 53 overall, but he's in AAA. Actually, I don't know why he's in AAA, but he's not playing very well. Maybe he's someone we can move down to AA. But in AA, Drew Rom is pitching very well. Maybe he can make the jump up to AAA. And outside of him, we have Blaine Knight pitching well also. In the bullpen, Kyle Dowdy with 10 innings and 0 ERA is pitching exceptionally. He only has deep potential, but maybe he can, he is 30 years old, so he's not really going to be bringing that up. Kevin Smith, 19 strikeouts and 2.83 ERA. So Connor Loprich, not pitching very well. McSweezy not pitching very well. Richmond doesn't have any innings, but maybe we can change that a bit. But I'm not ready to make too many changes as of right now in our bullpen. But looking at our lineups for our teams, we have some hot players, at least in AA. Cedric Mullins hitting just under 300 with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. Austin Hayes slacking a little bit. Maybe he gets moved down the lineup. You guys let me know what you think I should do. Gunnar Henderson is hitting very well. Maybe he gets moved up to that number 2 spot. And Austin Hayes can drop into number 5 and kind of protect Santander. But Ramon Urias is sitting at 209 with a home run and 6 RBIs and 86 at bats. Whereas Westberg, nothing outrageous to where he wouldn't have to start. Adley Rutschman, 330, 317 from Profar, and 300 from Adam Frazier. We're doing fairly well so far. A lot better than I thought we would, but If you guys think I should change this lineup a little bit, I'm thinking maybe Austin Hayes down, maybe moving either Frazier or Henderson up. You guys let me know what you think I should do. In AAA, Colton Cowser, 245, 281 from Cullen. Cordero's 258. Not a lot of players hitting very well. Mazzara actually has 4 home runs, which is leading the minors, I believe, so far. Lewin Diaz isn't at first base, so I do want to put him back there. And I think some of this got changed around from whenever people came off of injuries. So I'm going to have to keep on top of that to make sure that none of that stuff is actually changing who I want playing, because I want Lewin Diaz playing over Kyle Stowers at first base. And Samuel Basallo is not hitting very well, 181 compared to the over 300 that he hit in the spring. But at AA, Connor Norby, 275. He is playing very well. Only see potential, but 22 years old. He has plenty of time to up his overall and his potential as well. Kobe Mayo's hitting 261. Holiday at 250. Thinking about maybe dropping him in the order. I want him to produce, and I also want his development to excel at the minor league level. Josh Lester at first base is hitting a lot worse than Ryan O'Hearn, actually. I think that's mainly because Ryan O'Hearn is just our DH against righties. Hudson Haskins at center field, 352. Holy cow, he is hitting amazingly. Toby Welk left field, 431 and 65 at bats. Do we move Toby Welk up? I don't think we do, but 431 is nothing to sneeze at through the first month. He's only gotten 65 at bats. But maybe we make sure that he's playing against both. Yeah, right here he's listed as the first baseman. And I'm thinking we're actually going to keep him there at first base. But Dylan Beaver's here, DH against lefties. I'm thinking we're going to change that with Adam Hall right now, seeing as how he has a 273 average. And we'll drop him down just to be at the end of the lineup. Good with standing like that. Let me know what y'all think about this episode. We are going to stop right there as we are into the first week of May. I went through entirety of April. I'm thinking that's kind of where I want this series to go. I've been recording for almost 2.5 hours, so I'm hoping I can edit this down to inside of an hour. And you guys let me know if you think that there are some other things that we need to go and go after with our scouting. I mainly only scouted relief pitchers and starting pitchers and things like that. But lastly, before we get out of here, I do want to look at the league leaders. And we have batting average goes to Stephen Kwan of the Guardians. Do we have any Orioles? Adley Rutschman's at 330. Doubles, we have Mullins there tied for third with 10. Triples, Gunnar Henderson has 1 on the season, so we at least know he's somewhere tied for 18th. And home runs, Shohei Ohtani is your American League leader so far. And we don't have really anyone at the top. Santander is there at 5. RBIs, yeah, we're not really seeing anything there. Santander has 21. For our pitching, the top ERA goes to Shane McClanahan after the first month. John Means, 258. He is our top producer at pitcher, and Kyle Gibson is 284, so not far behind him. And they don't have whip as one of the things, but I will let y'all look at our statistics going by our players. Mullins has the most at bats. The most runs goes to Mountcastle and Mullins. Home runs, Santander and Mountcastle are tied for 5th. RBIs, Santander with 21. And our averages are a lot better than I thought they would be. 4 players at 300 or higher. Some players not producing where we really want them to, but they are our bench players, so I'm okay with maybe letting them stick it out, unless you think that we should maybe move Heston Kjerstad down to AAA, let him get, full at bats, full game at bats. And the same with Jordan Westberg. I don't want to, hinder their development if we can prevent that. And then looking at our pitchers, John Means and Cole Irvin, Bradish all have 3 wins, but Bradish does have 3 losses. Bautista has 15 saves. John Means has pitched the most innings by .1 inning. Grayson Rodriguez has 22 walks, but 26 strikeouts. So we need him to get his control under wraps a little bit. He's actually going down. I think that's due to a 7.94 ERA. But if we have someone that is a little bit older that we can bring up to kind of give Grayson Rodriguez some time in the minors, I think we could probably do that. Looking at AAA, it looks like Spencer Watkins is our best pitcher in AAA right now. He is 30 years old, so he's someone that could probably come in and replace him at least for a few games. Mike Ballman could also do that, as could Seth Johnson. None of them are really better choices, but I think we'll be okay with allowing Grayson Rodriguez to kind of work through some of his problems. The lowest whip goes to Felix Bautista. Dean Kramer is right there with John Means. Kramer might actually end up being an all-star if he plays his cards right now. And one last thing, I want to look at our WARs with Gibson and Irvin at 1. And we have 4 pitchers at 0 or lower, but Kriebel hasn't had any innings yet in the majors. And looking at the WAR at the position players, I forgot to look at. Rutschman leads the team with 1.7. Mullins right behind him with 1.3. Mateo, Westberg, Hayes is at a negative .1. So maybe he's someone that we could look to maybe use as trade bait. I don't think he's going to get any much better. 77, 78 is probably his cap. And then we could give Heston Kjerstad some at-bats here in the major leagues. Or we could even give Jurickson Profar that starting spot in the left field with his .4 WAR. But I will look for y'all feedback down in the comments section. And next episode, we will be running through all of May, maybe getting into some of June. I'm not sure when the draft is. Let's see. Boom, boom. I think the draft is here in like early July. So I'm thinking we'll run through May. We'll get through maybe half of June, and that will wrap it up. But let me know what y'all like. If y'all want to see a little bit more of these player lock games, since they're a little bit quicker. Do y'all want to see some more full games or anything like that? But leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed hanging out with me. If you want to see more of this series, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get at least 1 video out per week of this series. And I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Have a good day.